Joining us now for a first on CNBC interview is Meyer, chief economist and head of the Mastercard Economics Institute, and here in person.
Yes, it's so fun to be here.
Great. It's not quite the sphere, and this is my sphere. You know, this is like me watching the great Michelle and I getting to wonk out about whatever. So is it as bad as people say or no?
Not at all. We're looking at the travel economy in terms of what we're seeing in our unique data so we can understand how consumers are traveling, how they're spending, where they're going. And our sense is that it's really important to think about the why consumers have been traveling and what's going to motivate them forward.
Before you get into that, though, so we've seen, it seems like travel was the place where we first saw things break. We go back to that commentary from the airlines a couple of months ago where they said, yep, suddenly we're seeing a pullback in consumer travel. We're seeing a pullback in business travel. Yeah. And then one after the other, these companies seem to be, now maybe that's just international, and I don't know if that changes now as well. But why is it that this is now an area where you guys are saying things are actually steady?
Well, I think there's the idea of short-term versus longer-term trends, right? So, yes, there was a heightened period of uncertainty coupled with a lot of really idiosyncratic factors in the airline space in the sense of the weather and air flight issues in terms of safety concerns. But we're now getting to a point where we hope we're going to have a little bit more clarity on the economic front, as we were just talking about, and clearly what the markets are reacting to. And our sense is that it's important not just to think about what's happening right now in terms of travel, but what's going to happen, what has been driving consumers to go out and prioritize travel, and what will continue to motivate them to go out and move and see the world.
Well, business travel is critical, I imagine, right? Because you have to go, maybe you get to spend a little more money because somebody else is paying. Global Business Travel Association April survey, nearly 1/3 of global travel managers expect their company's business travel volume to fall significantly this year with an average forecasted drop of 21%. Not 2.1%. 21% is a big number, Michelle.
Yeah, it is a big number. And in periods where uncertainty was so high, you're trying to take the information you have at hand, which was that the economy was going to be facing significant risks associated with tariffs and the uncertain economic environment. Those numbers can make sense, but they're forecasts. So I think it's, you have to react as the headlines change and as the information changes. And that's why I think it's extremely important to look at the trends, what we've been seeing for the last several years in terms of how consumers and businesses have prioritized certain aspects of travel and why they've done that and what that might mean going forward. And when speaking about corporate travel, one of the things that was really interesting that we saw in our data is that when people do travel for work today, they're staying longer at destinations. It's becoming a more meaningful decision to go out and make that trip.
But maybe because of the work from home flexibility or
Perhaps,
we've heard that over the years. So what are the headlines from this, the kind of most important data points? Just, shower us with them. What did you guys find from
I have so many, but I'll offer a few. So when looking at trending destinations into the summer, particularly from U.S. and Canada, the top destination remains Tokyo. Presumably the currency there does play a role, even with some of the recent move. It's still an attractive area and place to visit. San Juan, Hawaii, still very much in the top of the list.
Japan's 1 and 2. Got Tokyo and then Osaka.
From the world,
wow.
Yes.
Showing if you're on the radio, we have a graphic showing the top 10 with flags, and the first 2 are Japan.
More so than Paris?
Yeah, so that is from world travelers. And then if you look at U.S. and Canada, you have San Juan and Hawaii and some of these beach destinations also rank very high on the list in terms of trending destinations. But here's another stat that I find to be very interesting in terms of people traveling for certain events. So we looked at a number of different sporting events to see cross-border spending and tourism. So one thing that was fascinating is the World Series last year. We saw a big increase in Japanese tourists for
Shohei Ohtani,
Ohtani, yes. 6 times as many spending from Japanese tourists than overall cross-border spending during that game in L.A.
I could tell you there was a lot of people in tie-dyed shirts in Las Vegas this weekend. And the tickets aren't cheap. I just want to throw that out there.
True.
It matters. It matters.
It does. I feel like those destination things matter.
Yes.
Whereas I went to Santa Monica, California, and it was the deadest I've ever seen it. It was I was actually shocked at how bad it was. It feels like it's hard to read how the economy is doing.
It is hard to read, yeah, for sure. But for us, if you look at the full swath of data that we are examining on a regular basis, it very much shows us that consumers are still out there spending. They still have purchasing power. The labor market is still supportive. We cannot forget that. Even in a period of high uncertainty, purchasing power is there. they're being very mindful about how they're using it. But travel still seems to be something that is being prioritized, but they're doing it to find value or for certain experiences or for these moments in time. And that's what I think we have to focus on. We spent a lot of time on this idea of purposeful travel in the report.
I wonder, I mean, if you're right and if that holds in, because it makes sense to me, we're still surrounded by people traveling and going on trips all the time, that these stocks might bounce back. I don't know, but that maybe the pessimism is overdone.
It's all about the headlines versus what the data is showing. And I think we had some pretty scary headlines over the last several weeks, naturally, when it comes to this heightened uncertainty.
Yeah.